Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review! Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. This is probably the most excited I've ever been for a review, quite frankly. All these other releases, just forget about them. I think this is the biggest release of 2024 by far. This might even be life-changing. Burger King has decided to just do it. They did the unthinkable. What if we take these innocent chicken nuggets and royal crispy chicken wraps and we add spice to them? I was in a state of shock when I heard that. I thought, what? So you're going to take chicken nuggets and you're going to try to make them spicy? Who even does that? Burger King does. They did it. They did it. I have it right here. They have released, and they've never done this before, obviously. It's not like I've done 20 different reviews for the same spicy items. It's nonsense. They have released their fiery chicken nuggets, or as they sometimes like to call them, fiery buffalo chicken nuggets, and they have released a fiery buffalo royal crispy wrap. This is a double review. I'm going to be trying both of them out. I thought, if I'm about to just explode because of one, then let's just do it. Get it all right here, and I have it. I'm going to review the whole fiery lineup. Yeah, I'm kind of being very sarcastic this time around, but quite frankly, you have all these establishments, be that Burger King or Wendy's or McDonald's or any place, they have their spicy chicken, this, that, and the other thing, and they'll release it and then they'll take it away and release it again and take it away. And Burger King is, I would say by far, the most prolific when it comes down to this, so that's why I'm sort of really playing this up. Yeah, this is, I can't tell you how many fiery or spicy items I've reviewed from them, but, you know, some of them are actually quite good. Even if it's a little tacky, some of them can actually have potential. So, you know, I'll quickly try both of these out. I'll start with the fiery nuggets, and both of them have the same aspect. It's the chicken, and then it has a spicy buffalo glaze to it. So I guess the big difference between maybe these spicy items and some of the spicy items that they had long ago in years past is that these actually have a spicy glaze on the chicken as opposed to like a dry rub of sorts. So that's supposed to be the big difference. And it's supposed to have like a buffalo sort of flavor. You could get an 8-piece of the chicken nuggets for the price of $2.99, or you can get the fiery buffalo royal crispy wrap. That's essentially the chicken tender. It again has the same buffalo glaze, and it comes with lettuce and tomato. It is in a tortilla that also is available at the price of $2.99. So it's the same price, $3 for 8 nuggets, or $3 for the wrap. Which, granted, you know, it's not like how it used to be, where you could find a deal for even 99 cents for nuggets, I believe, from even Burger King, or for maybe $2, but still. The price is more reasonable than what it would be from some establishments, so you got that. Alright, starting off with the nuggets. And I don't know how well you could see it, but you could sort of see, actually, the little bit of a glaze sort of seeping through the little bag. And there they are. They have like an orange hue to them. And you could also get a dipping sauce with the nuggets. I chose ranch. The ad portrays them as being practically dripping with the sauce. I'm not really getting that. from this. But I can tell that it is like sort of saturated. I mean, the sauce is there. I could smell it. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to try the nugget first, and then I'll try the wrap. Let's see how it is, see how good it is, how spicy it is, if this new sauce works or not. The Fiery Buffalo nuggets from Burger King going in. And I'm going to try one more. First, a bite of the nugget by itself, and there's not really a ton to be said about these, which I think is to be expected. They're alright for the most part, but there is a little bit of a concern that I have that I'll explain. Because I've seen items like this before, and I have a feeling this, to me, very evidently seems like it's one of them. So first and foremost, the chicken quality is pretty much what you would expect. It's not gourmet. I don't think a single one of us is sort of going into this with the expectation that it's going to be. It's Burger King, and of course, as is the case, the chicken is going to be a little spongy, but is it acceptable? Yeah. World's highest quality? By no means. But again, we sort of saw this coming. The chicken is acceptable. Once you know what it is going in, there's not really much to necessarily complain about. It's fine for what it is. So, when they describe this as a buffalo sauce, granted, I like my wings. I am a big fan of buffalo wings. Does this necessarily remind me of what I would consider to be a standard buffalo sauce? No, not really. When I bite into this, there is the spice there, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't remind me at all of eating really anything with buffalo sauce. Here's the thing. The spice is there, it's noticeable, but oddly enough, that is not the most prominent note that I happen to notice when it comes down to these nuggets. And here's what I mean by that. And this is why I say this is a cause for concern. What I notice first is saltiness. It is very salty, and then spicy. I feel like this sort of blend, whatever is in the sauce, is obviously extremely heavy on the sodium. So as a result, when I bite in, with every bite that I notice, this salty, very salty coating, with then a hint of spice thereafter. It is not to the point, because sometimes I'll have these items where it's like, you would think they've ripped open a salt packet and dumped the whole thing on it. And if you ever have something that just has too much salt, you know how unpleasant and really almost how unbearable that can be. And mind you, I don't mind salty food, but it gets to a point where once it is to excess, it's just too much. So the issue that I have here, not that it's overwhelming immediately, because it's not, but it's one of those items that builds on itself. You take a bite, okay, it's somewhat salty, but then you take another bite, there's more salt, and then a bite after that, there's even more. To the point where even after just a few bites of one or two nuggets, it's going to get to the point where maybe now you're getting too much of what might otherwise be a good thing. And that's what you need to take into account. Where this is one of those items that the first few bites, they're fine for what they are, but then you get the next bite and the next bite, and that saltiness, it doesn't go away from one bite to the next, it lingers a little bit, and it's going to keep building and building. So if I were to just go through the whole 8-piece of the nuggets, then that's going to be a cause for concern, because by the end of it, I'm probably not going to be enjoying them very much. So this is a sort of item that, in a limited quantity, it would probably be fine. You have 1 or 2 or 3 nuggets, okay, probably doable. But you have more than that, and that saltiness is going to build up and add up real quick, and it's going to get to the point where it begins getting noticeable and not in a good way. And as a result, items that have this problem, can you necessarily say that it is an excellent item? I can't. So this sauce, it's all right in limited quantities, but be very wary of it. So therefore, out of 10, I'm going to be giving the Fiery Buffalo Nuggets from Burger King, I'm going to have to give these nuggets a 6 out of 10 because of that fact. Because after a while, it takes what would otherwise be a decent item and makes it into something unpleasant. And also, the spice isn't all that strong. It's not a real lasting spice. The saltiness is longer lasting than the spice. It's pleasant otherwise, but you really need to take that into account. And the ranch dressing is okay for what it is. It helps cut through a little bit of the saltiness. That sharpness of it helps offset that a little bit. So personally, as far as a sauce goes, probably get it with the ranch if that's what you're sort of thinking about. And now, the Fiery Buffalo Royal Crispy Wrap. So part 2 of the review. Again, $3 in the tortilla. And this one you could see a little bit more of the sauce right there. Lettuce, tomato, chicken. And I'm going to try that out now. The Fiery Buffalo Royal Crispy Wrap from Burger King. It's going in. For the sake of time, I just wanted to pause the camera while I ate the wrap. As you can see, though, in the cross section right there, this one is a bit more thoroughly coated with the sauce. It is the exact same sauce as the nuggets happen to have. So here's the thing. I can't say that I necessarily enjoyed the wrap as much. And here is why. I went into it, sort of expecting the same as the nuggets, but again, I thought, well, it's still a different thing. I would be interested in seeing what sort of effect the lettuce and the tomato had, and how the quality, of course, of the chicken strip is. It's much saltier. That's the disappointing thing. The chicken quality was also surprisingly subpar compared to the nuggets, and that's saying something, because the nuggets themselves are, again, spongy. They're not the best in the world, but you would sort of assume, the chicken strip is going to be slightly better as far as the quality is concerned. It wasn't. It was actually saltier. It was a little tough. It was like a little chewy. Makes me think maybe it was cooked a tad too long. And it was just, the chicken itself was much saltier, and then that sauce, also salty, was just really building and building upon itself. The tomato was also, it wasn't that fresh. That's the other thing. The tomato wasn't, you could just sort of tell. It was not a real crisp or fresh tomato. It was like it was out for way too long. The lettuce as well none of the ingredients for this wrap seemed as fresh as they ought to have been. And again, the chicken was really salty, as is the sauce. So I'm biting into this, and it's not enjoyable. With every bite, it's like, I was just thinking to myself, would I ever go and get this again? Would I go out of my way and say, forget all the other wing places, forget the other places that have spicy chicken offerings, am I going to go out of my way ever again to try out this wrap? And the answer is most definitely no, because it's extremely salty, the ingredients aren't fresh, and it's just not that much of an enjoyable consumption at all. The nuggets, at least, they're tolerable, you know? It's like, okay, I could have a few bites. That could get overwhelming if you eat them all in quick succession, which isn't a good thing, but at least it's tolerable. And the sauce is all right. I could technically see myself getting the nuggets again, but that wrap, it's just not happening. It's not an enjoyable eat. Freshness is an issue. Chicken quality is subpar. And it's just so salty. It's more salty than it is spicy. And that's a problem. So, the wrap, surprisingly, I thought the wrap was going to be better and of higher quality than the nuggets, but that's not the case. So the wrap, easily the worst of these two items. Forget that wrap. I would just say, take the $3, and if you want to get this, get the nuggets, because the wrap is not worth it, and it's not a good item. And I guess that's how Burger King is sometimes, you know, hit or miss. And in this case, neither of these was exceptional, but the nuggets, way better than that wrap. The wrap, just forget it. Don't even bother with it, because I doubt you'll find it very enjoyable. And at least with the nuggets, you could sort of, even if they get a little overwhelming, it's like an individual thing. You could eat a couple nuggets, you could save some, whatever you want to do with them. But the wrap is like one and done, so forget the wrap. That is not good. I'll have to give the Fiery Buffalo Royal Crispy Wrap from Burger King, therefore. I'm going to have to give it, yeah, it's not enjoyable at all. I'm going to have to give it a 3.5 out of 10. Nothing really about it that I could even say I like. The tortilla, I guess, and that's a real redeeming quality of it, which I say sarcastically. So now pass on the wrap. Get the nuggets if you really want. So a mixed bag from Burger King. Nothing was perfect this time around, but of the two, definitely go with the nuggets. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.